Hey everybody, my name is Justin. In this video, I want to revisit Charlie Munger's position in Alibaba. We have seen the Baba stock go from over $300 a share all the way down to $155 a share. And man, we have heard the bears come out right now, certainly in the last couple of months. And some of the common comments I have seen on my channel and other people's channel is something similar to saying, hey, you know, if Alibaba was such a great company, if the Baba stock was such of great value, Charlie Munger would have bought more stock in the second quarter. And so that is a very valid comment, even potentially a question. I think that should be addressed today. So why did Charlie Munger not buy more Alibaba stock in the second quarter? So we knew that he bought Alibaba stock in the first quarter around the March timeframe. He bought $37 million worth of Alibaba, came to about 165,000 shares. And I know for me personally, you know, I am very tied to the Alibaba stock. It's my #1 position in my portfolio. And if you are a shareholder yourself of Alibaba, certainly you have seen, you know, this metaphoric type drop of Alibaba stock. And sometimes you can question or certainly think about, you know, concerns around the stock. Did I make the right decision?
I think so.
You know, as if I'm following some of these gurus, or if it gives me higher conviction seeing gurus buy into this stock, you know, am I okay? You know, what are they planning to do with it? Why did Charlie Munger not buy more stock in the second quarter? So I wanted to kind of talk about, you know, how Charlie Munger's portfolio is constructed today, you know, how many purchases he has made over the last 10 years or so. And, you know, does it make sense that he did not buy Alibaba stock in the second quarter? And does that mean that is a concern around the Baba stock itself? So I hope you guys get some value out of this video. If this is the first video you've watched of mine, again, my name is Justin. I'm an accountant by day. I run an accounting department at an aerospace company here in Colorado. And I try to use my accounting background and knowledge to bring you guys value in investing in stocks, looking at financial statements, and that sort of thing. So let's just jump right into this video. If you get any kind of value out of it, please smash that thumbs up button. All right, so let's talk about Charlie Munger. He is best known for being, you know, the business partner that is of Warren Buffett, and you know, for Berkshire Hathaway. But you know, Charlie Munger does own his own portfolio for the Daily Journal. So the Daily Journal is a business paper. It's been around for you know, several decades. He bought this company back in the 70s, and the business paper is actually revolved around legal matters. And a lot of people don't know this, but Charlie Munger actually comes from a background of being an attorney and owning his own law firm. So that's where he actually came from. And I think that that background has actually helped him be more methodical looking at stocks and actually helping Warren Buffett kind of change up his strategy in investing over time. And so when he bought the Daily Journal, in a lot of ways, it's kind of structured somewhat similar to Berkshire Hathaway in the fact that Berkshire Hathaway has acquired companies over time and then has used those profits to invest in other companies and build this huge portfolio within the company. The Daily Journal doesn't have dozens of companies that owns like Berkshire Hathaway, but the Daily Journal does make up 3 different entities within the business. So first of all, they have the business paper itself. And you might ask yourself, is business paper even around anymore? It is. It's actually in the California area. They do still distribute their paper now. They're barely making it. I mean, that business itself is barely covering its costs, you know, and I would think over the next 5 to 10 years, who knows it's even going to be around anymore. However, the other 2 parts of its business, the biggest part is really its portfolio. So keep in mind that the Daily Journal is worth around $400 million today. And out of that $400 million, you're talking about $213 million of that is in stocks. That makes up its portfolio overall. And they only have 5 stocks in their portfolio, which we'll get to here in a second. And the third business is called Journal Technologies. It's actually made up of two different legacy software companies that they had purchased and then created for about $25 million. So that's what kind of makes it up. So you have the portfolio investments, you got that business paper, and then you have that journal technology. But you know what they're mostly known for right now today is that portfolio stocks, and they only own 5 stocks, and Charlie Munger is the one who makes those purchases, make those decisions. And now we'll kind of get to what makes up the portfolio and why it is so important that Charlie Munger bought into Alibaba stock in the first quarter and why he did not in the second quarter and maybe never again. So Charlie Munger, to me, is one of those unique investors that really waits for a company to go through an event. And then you have to remember that the price of a stock is not necessarily the value of a business. They rarely ever coordinate. Now, over like a 10-year period, there's going to be parts of times when, you know, stock equals value of the company. But if you think of, you know, a company's value kind of a straight line, the stock price is kind of like this, right? And the best way to think of a stock market, it's an auction type, right? Every day somebody is bidding and another person is selling stock, and you never know what it's going to be, but it's all over the place. So that's why a stock on average over a year can actually vary about 50%. So value investors like me and you can actually have great opportunities of potentially buying companies at a discount if you know how to value them. So if we look at a couple of the companies that are in his portfolio right now, you have some of the 3 biggest banks in the market. So you have Wells Fargo, you have US Bank Corp, and then you have Bank of America. And he bought those stocks around the financial crisis back in like the 2008, 2009 era. So that was when all the banks kind of collapsed as far as stock price goes. But he looked at it and said, the value again doesn't equal the price of the stock. He knew the price of the stock was well below what the value is. So he bought that. You're talking, over a decade ago, right? You're talking probably, 12, 13 years ago is when he bought those stocks, right? And then the 4th stock on that list is called POSCO, ticker symbol PKX. And I actually never heard of this company before. They're a steel company, and he actually sold out 85% of the company back in 2014. But this is what is so important about Charlie Munger and his portfolio and why it's so important that he bought into Alibaba. Before he bought into Alibaba, his last transaction, significant transaction, was the sale of the POSCO stock back in 2014. And then prior to that, you have to go back to almost like the 2007 to 2009 range when he bought the bank stock. So again, he waits for a company to go through an event. He waits for the stock price to drop well below the value of the company, and that's when he buys. And then he holds these for a long time and then just doesn't sell them off. Obviously, he sold some of the, a good majority of the POSCO stock, but if you go back and look at that stock in particular, it had a significant run up prior to 2014, and so he probably thought, okay, there really is not a lot of value going out into the future. But generally, he holds stock for a very, very long length of time. When he bought into Alibaba, he specifically came out and said, hey, I'm buying Baba stock because I can get a greater return than putting into like treasury bonds. So, where treasury bonds are making it just a couple of percent over a long period of time, he thinks that Baba stock is going to do better than that. And so for me personally, that is the reason why he did not buy into stock in the second quarter. He tends to buy big chunks of companies and then holds them for a long period of time. So that is not an indictment into Alibaba itself, why he did not buy in the second quarter. That's just his strategy. He just buys a big chunk of the stock and then just holds for a very, very long time and just lets the stock run up at that point. So again, that makes, or at least gives me very strong conviction into the stock itself. And being trading at $155 a share, I think again, the value does not equal the price of the stock. I had recently, I did intrinsic value of the company. I think Alibaba stock is worth closer to $300 a share, and trading $155 a share, you're talking a massive margin of safety right there if you want to buy the stock. I'm not a financial advisor. Make sure you do your own risk assessment and intrinsic value there. But that's why Charlie Munger did not buy stock, in my personal opinion, in the second quarter. He is done buying. I don't think we'll ever see him, in my personal opinion, probably buy another stock again. And so when I look at all the stock gurus that bought into Alibaba, from Charlie Munger to Phil Town to Mohnish Pabrai, Guy Spear, Al Gore, the list goes on and on. I think Charlie Munger is the most impactful. It says the most about the stock that he bought into it. And for me personally, I'm holding Alibaba strong. I'm not concerned at all. It could drop down to $100 a share and I'm not going to blink an eye. I'll just keep buying more. That's the way it is for me. I know in 5 years Alibaba is going to be worth more. That is my personal viewpoint. So love to hear from you guys in the comment section. What do you think about Charlie Munger not buying the second quarter? Do you think he'll ever buy another stock again? I'd love to hear from you. Thank you so much for watching. Love you guys so much. And if you like what you saw today, please smash that thumbs up button. If you like this content, please subscribe to my channel. I'll catch you guys on the other side. Take care and God bless.